Grey County.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
I'm Skelly, and today's guest is Patty Sargent-Gibson. Welcome.
Hello there. How are you today?
Good. And Patty is the past president of branch number 6, the Owen Sound Legion. And today we're going to talk about, because we're coming up to Remembrance Day, we'll talk about that, but we'll talk about a lot of things about the Legion and the Poppy campaign and some activities going on at the Legion here in Owen Sound. So I guess what we can talk about first is any of the celebrations or the activities that you're planning to have around Remembrance Day here in Owen Sound. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
So we're doing something new this year, and it's called A Soldier's Letter. And we're doing that on November the 9th. And it's a very exciting project because it was written by one of our award-winning youth education winners who was out of Toronto. So she had won a poem, like won the first place on a poem. But anyway, she's taken that and she's written a book of poems. And her sister has taken all the photos of the poem to go with the poems. So we are going to do a play on the 9th around those. So Jana, who is the photographer of the group, she's producing and directing this play. And so we will have live readings. We will also have some recorded readings for people who can't be with us. And tickets are $10 to come to this. They're doing it at, doors are going to open at 6, so you can come and have a coffee or some dessert after dinner and then sit down and watch this. We're in rehearsals, as it were, trying to make sure that we, are reading our poems because they're very, very emotional. It's going to be hard to keep a dry eye.
Oh, that is really fascinating. Mm. Now, of course, you've read these poems. I guess the theme, is it all about the First and Second World Wars? Is it about Afghanistan? Is it about Croatia, Bosnia? What peacekeeping? What are they about?
Well, it's all encompassing. It's more based on veterans, okay. on PTSD and some of the stuff that they struggle with, their thoughts. It's they're very powerful. And if like I did a reading for her once and I read it, and I thought I can do this, right? It's just reading a poem. So I read, and then I read it again. And I read it a third time. By the third time, I was crying because I could actually feel the emotion of that poem. So, and these are just young girls. So they have captured a lot of I think, what veterans possibly are feeling, and put it to word. So it's like,
how old are these children or girls that wrote these poems?
Well, it's always hard to tell. But I would say they are probably late 20s. I might be getting a kick for that, but
are they the children of military, do you think?
I don't believe so.
Really? They captured it that well.
Yeah. Well, they had some family experiences. Okay. I don't know. So Jana just joined our executive at the Legion. And she's very keen to promote the Legion and the work the organization does. And this is one way. And she's reached out to all kinds of celebrities to do readings. And we have, and we do have some stuff from the Legion magazine for readings and stuff like that. Or not readings, but pictures and stuff, videos. So I think it'll be a very interesting night.
Right. Yes. Well, of course, PTSD is one of the most significant I guess you could call after effects of service.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So we do have some veterans that are prepared to read. So, have served in Afghanistan.
Mhm.
So, it'll be an emotional night for them, I think, as well,
Really?
some of these. Yeah.
Wow. And when
Yeah.
is this again?
November the 9th. It's next
November 9th.
Wednesday. Yeah. Next Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Yes. We got a few rehearsal dates.
Now, whose brainchild was this?
It was Janice. It was Jana Lewis's. Like I said, she and Lindsay had put it to a play and did it one other time. And so she said she was prepared to do it for Remembrance Day this year. Again, to bring awareness. It's going to be, I think it's going to be very, and she's put a lot of hard work into it. I just hope the ticket sales go.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Really. Now, do you have a poster or something like that online, or?
We do have posters, and I do believe it's on our website, and I believe it's on Facebook.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you do have a Facebook page, so
Right.
it's on your Facebook page. Okay, and it'd be easy to share that then. Okay.
Yeah, it's called A Soldier's Letter.
A Soldier's Letter. Wow,
Mhm.
it sounds
That's exciting.
incredible. It really
Mhm.
does. And how much are the tickets again?
$10.
$10. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's a really a fascinating one. Okay, so that's the first thing about Remembrance Day, I would say, or just something around veterans. And then you must have the regular things that we assume, are activities around Remembrance Day. What are they going to look like this year?
So we're going to actually parade this year.
Okay.
But we're not parading from the A&P parking lot like we normally do. This year, they've shortened the parade quite a bit. So we'll be forming up at the RBC bank corner and marching down Main Street. So that's taking out probably about 3 blocks anyway, 2 to 3 blocks anyway of the march, in the hopes that, some of the older veterans might be able to join us, because it is a long march for them.
Yeah.
So that's different this year. But then again, we haven't been able to march for a while. So it's been, so this will be good. And then, of course, we're having our banquet. But we have church parade first and foremost. We always go to church the Sunday before Remembrance Day.
That's right.
This year, we're going to the Salvation Army. So we just have to march across the street, which is going to be easy. And then we'll have our service there, and then we'll have lunch afterwards. And then on Remembrance Day, we will do our service. And but this year there's not going to be a minute gun, which is going to be unusual too, because the person that was doing the minute gun is retired, and we haven't found anyone else to do it. So that'll be a bit of a difference. But and then we'll go back to the branch, and we have lunch. I believe tickets are still available for that. The tickets are $16. We'll have lunch, and we'll have a guest speaker, Dave Alexander.
Speaker. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Dave Alexander from the Billy Bishop. It's going to be our guest speaker, for this year. And Dave always does very informative speeches. So we're looking forward to that. And that will probably sum up the day.
Wow. That's a big day. And as the veterans get older, it's a very big day.
It's a very big day. And it's nice to see, recently retired veterans joining us as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Because the whole landscape of the veterans and the image of the veterans is changing. First World War veterans, I believe, are all gone, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and the Second World War veterans are aging out.
Very much.
Now it's more Afghanistan, the ones that were in Bosnia, peacekeepers, and it's that generation of veterans that we're now recognizing,
right,
and for their service. But those are the veterans that will be seen more frequently.
That's right.
And, so the younger generation is going to be seeing those veterans when they see Remembrance Day. Whereas we're more familiar with the First and Second World War veterans and Korea.
That's right.
Yeah. That's what we.
Yeah, Yeah, it may look different this year, but the meaning will still be the same.
Oh, of course, it's always, the meaning is always the same.
Yeah.
But the people, the faces we see will be different. And the uniforms will be
That's
different.
right.
Uniforms will be
Yeah.
different. Yes.
Yeah.
And there'll be probably be more women.
I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
be more
I would
women.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's quite a few women veterans, I think.
Yes. Yes. So, yeah, it will change, but we'll always have that same message, and we'll
Mhm.
always be thankful for them. Now, what about the Poppy campaign? How is it going? First of all, what does the Poppy campaign, the funds, what does it go towards?
It goes towards helping veterans.
Okay.
And their families, right? So sometimes veterans will have a need that they can't financially meet. So they will provide us with a means test, as you will, and then we will look after. We've helped with building front steps, giving railings to hearing aids, to you name it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's for. When people put that money in there and donate to the Poppy Fund, that it goes to veterans and it cannot be touched. It's a trust fund, so it cannot be touched. And of course, all of our checks have to have 2 signatures, with the Veteran Service Officer or the Secretary and the Poppy Chairman. So Veteran Service Officer and the Poppy Chairman work very tight together.
Does it stay in the area, or does it, it goes to one central and it's meted out?
No, it stays in Owen Sound.
Okay,
yeah,
so
it stays in Owen Sound, but what we can do is we can donate to the we have the Royal Canadian Legion has a charitable foundation fund. So we can donate into that. So like the Owen Sound Hospital, for example, could make a request to the charitable foundation for something, for a piece of equipment. And so they have a review board that would look over the request and granted or not granted. The Owen Sound Hospital has received monies from the charitable foundation. So we can do it for that. So when it says, so we can donate out of the Poppy campaign for that.
Okay. But so it's worth your while, or not, it's worth your while to get a poppy anyway, but get your poppies, because that money stays in this area. And we want that money to be propped up. We want we want enough funds in our area to take care of our veterans that are here.
That's
right.
That's right. Yeah.
Where does the area of the Poppy Fund, does it say Grey Bruce, or is there like a Blue Water area, or how does it go?
No, well, every branch has their own Poppy campaign.
Every branch. Okay.
Right. So, Owen Sound's parameters, it goes from Princess Auto, it would come down in through the city, and then it goes out as far as 9th Avenue.
Okay. So it's a branch thing. It's not just an area.
Yeah, it's a branch thing. Yeah. So
wow.
Chatsworth and Hepworth would come into the Georgian Bluffs area. They would come in there. And it's
something.
Yeah, every branch runs a Poppy campaign.
Okay.
Some do it differently. Some do mail out. Some send out letters asking for donations to the Poppy with a Poppy enclosed. Some branches go door to door, asking people if they'd like to donate to the Poppy Fund and give them a Poppy. We choose to stand on the street corners. We choose to stand on street corners, and
that sounded a little funny.
I know. I just thought of that when I said it. But we choose to stand out in front of the businesses and do that and have a personal appearance.
That is really interesting, though.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that every branch did that. So that's interesting. Very informative. Yeah. Okay, so we've covered the Remembrance Day and all of that. One other thing I want to talk about, which is something really fascinating that I'd never even crossed my mind until the Legion in Hepworth burnt down. Oh. And all that memorabilia that was there, all those really important medals, and not to even think about the Country Hall of Fame, which was really just, breaks your heart. But the medals and the things that families had, donated, we have that here too, don't we?
We do. We have quite a nice memorabilia room that families have donated. It certainly made branches wake up
Yeah, like I want.
and
I
taken
thought
a
we have that here, don't we? Oh my
yeah
goodness! And
yeah. It made us.
I bet you a lot of the next day. I bet you a lot of legions went, "Oh, I never thought of that." Well, I mean, they probably thought of things in the back of their mind, but it just sort of went in and out. But when that really happened, you thought, is it a really good idea? But where, like I'm sure families think, well, there's grandpa's medals or grandma's medals or whatever, brother Bill's, and what am I going to do with them here?
Mm-hmm.
But what do
I
you
know.
think?
Well, that was scary because I know we talked about it at convention.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean the devastation to Hepworth Branch is,
It's just
and it's
heartbreaking.
yeah, it is heartbreaking, and I know they're working hard to try and rebuild, but like if for Owen Sound, it was almost like, okay, so now what are we going to do? Because so what we did, we just checked with their insurance company, and we didn't have anything that was going to cover all of this stuff. So we brought in appraisers. So now everything is documented. Our pictures are taken of everything. So hopefully nothing ever happens, but at least now we've got a tangible account of what we've got in our memorabilia room and throughout the branch, because it's a very extensive collection.
Fireproof safes for it and then bring it out on display once in a while. I don't know. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, what we've done is everything is still as it was. Like, it's still on the walls, it's still on display. But at least now we've got an account for it, right? There would be no way we could pack up all of the memorabilia we have and put it away and then just bring it out on occasions. It's just too expensive.
I know. I mean, every legion's the same. Every legion. My mother and stepfather live in Hamilton, and well, they're in a retirement home now. But every Friday they go to fish and chips at the Legion, and you go in there. I go with them, and the Legion there, it's like their branch. It's just filled with memorabilia. I mean, they're the same. What would they do? They can't pack it all up. So, and that's what you want. You want to celebrate those achievements, the merits that these people have been awarded. But,
I mean, it's part of history too, right? I mean, we have a swastika. We have a German flag with a swastika in our cabinet, and as much as people don't want it there, it's still part of history. It's still something
part of history. It's part of history we don't want to repeat.
Right. So like I said, we've got all kinds of stuff that it's just, we just have to pray that we never have a fire.
Yeah, but like you say, it was a wake up call, and I'm glad you went and had everything.
Yeah,
you did the right thing. Yeah, that was and they're rebuilding, I hear.
Yes, that's what I hear, and like I say, they're trying. I know they had a fundraiser, so they're trying really hard to rebuild. So, and all the branches within our zone, which goes from Tobermory right down to Chesley and over to Meaford, I know we're all here for them. If they need our help, we're all here. That's what we'll do.
Well, I lived in Sauble for about 20 years, and Hepworth Legion was like community center, second community center. You went there for everything, voting for everything. So, they'll rebuild. They'll have lots of support to rebuild.
Yeah.
Now, how did COVID affect the Legion, your branch? That's
a $64,000 question.
I don't have the support.
It's like everyone. Like, we suffered because we couldn't have the people, we couldn't do the halls. When we could open, we were limited to what we could have. So I was president through those years of COVID, and it was tough. It was hard to keep the faith. It
was hard for you to keep the faith. And I remember around that time there was talk about whether it could even stay open. Wasn't that the time when they were saying, we don't know if we'll keep our Legion? And that was when people went, what? We need the Legion.
Yeah, it's hard when you're not bringing in revenue, right? Because we're all volunteers. In Owen Sound, we pay our secretary and we pay our bartenders. We pay a cleaner, but I mean, people that do all the work to raise funds are all volunteers.
That's right.
Volunteer board, right? So yeah, so it was hard. I mean, we met through Zoom and Skype and that kind of stuff, and made some decisions, but money wasn't coming in, so we didn't have to worry. I mean, obviously the bills kept coming in, and stuff that got paid, but we couldn't do any fundraising. So, and now, even now, it's still slow. It's very slow coming back. I've noticed we had a Halloween dance Friday night, or Saturday night rather, and it wasn't very well attended.
Yeah.
Now, whether that was our fault in advertising or whether it's just, had other things to do, but.
Well, I still think people are still sick too. There's a lot of people that are sick. I know I spoke with you, our family was sick, and there's a lot of people still sick. So I think it's going to take a while for people to rally and still feel comfortable going out and doing things. But it'll get there. I'm sure it'll get there. And people want to support the Legion. I know they do. They depend on the Legion.
Well, there are a lot of people that, they do depend on it. I mean, we have our hall and stuff like that, and we're certainly very supportive of other not-for-profit organizations too. So, we know the community. I mean, the community in Owen Sound is second to none as far as supporting the Legion. I mean, we've always had very strong support from the city and the residents. So, and for that, we're very thankful.
But how is membership?
It's coming. Its membership drive is on right now. It's coming. We're not going to break any numbers, but they're working hard on phoning people and just reminding them that it is the early bird campaign, and memberships are up for renewal and stuff. So I think we had some words of 700 last year, which is a far cry from what we used to have years ago. But a lot of that's just through aging and stuff like that, right?
So what would you do if you wanted to become a member? How do you become a member of the Legion?
Fill out an application form.
And can that be done online?
Yeah, it can be. And you can, there is an opportunity to join online through on command. But there's no, back in the day, you had to be affiliated with a veteran in order to join the Legion. Those days are gone. Anyone now who just believes in what we do and wants to support us are welcome to join us. Okay. So we have membership applications at the branch. You can do it online and join through the virtual branch. And then they just transfer you into Owen Sound. So yeah, all getting into the modern age now. It's just do it online.
Good. And that would help get your membership numbers up, help with funding. And you could also you could volunteer, help with activities and things like that. Now, the Ladies Auxiliary is one of the, would you call that a branch of one of the groups at the Legion that does do a lot of volunteer activities there. They support the Legion quite a bit. They do a lot of the things that involve food. I know that. I know that one of the things that are really popular is those Friday night meals that they put on dinners, and they're very popular. Now, I know they started those back.
They have started back up again. So, which is, that's one of their main fundraisers is, they do weddings and they do funeral lunches and that sort of stuff too. But I mean, their Friday night suppers are very popular. So they
had one not long ago. Do you know how well attended it was?
I don't. No,
because it was, I think, a roast beef dinner. I saw that online, and of course, our family wasn't able to go to the dinner. Of course, everybody was sick. But I mean, their dinners are really good, and they're a good value.
Yeah, they're generally very well supported. I know the biggest one is the liver and onion dinner. That when it comes, it is like hundreds of people.
Well, yeah, because liver and onions isn't easy to cook and have taste really good, and they do it well.
They do it well. That's a very popular dish.
It is, and like I said, it's a good value.
Yes.
So and now, what do they do with the money? Where does their
Well,
money?
their money is, I mean, they do also do donations to different organizations,
Right.
but their mandate is to help the branch as well, right? So, but I know they do give it, and I know they have a sports program, and they have, they also, the charitable foundation program, I know they also help with that, because they were instrumental in it many, many years ago, Ladies Auxiliary and Branch of setting that up. So,
Right.
yeah. And I think
And
their
they work
numbers are
hard.
suffering as well. Yeah, their numbers are suffering hard as well, right?
Right.
I mean, a lot of them are getting at an age where, you know,
Yeah.
it's getting hard, and younger ones aren't coming up. So, yeah, so auxiliaries right across the board are struggling.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. People don't realize that the hard work that goes into that. And we
Right.
didn't appreciate all that hard work that went into that. And when it's gone, we do.
That's right.
What do you think?
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
getting ready for turkeys and stuff now. So getting ready for Christmas parties and that sort of stuff. So they'll be up to their eyeballs in turkey. So cooking turkeys.
Oh, my
And, yeah,
And those ladies were, a lot of them worked, they raised their families, and they were doing this.
that's right.
Imagine. Oh, that's a
It's,
lot
yeah,
of work.
it is a lot of work.
Lot of time standing, doing that.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, no, they work hard. They spend a lot of hours there.
Yes, we
Yeah.
should appreciate that.
That's right.
And you know, we need people to take their place. So tell me, you have a Facebook page, and if people want to find it, it is under the Royal Canadian Legion, or is
That's
it on? Okay.
Yeah.
And you have a website.
That's right.
So if people want information about anything, they go on to those and they can find information on
Yeah.
anything about Remembrance Day activities.
There should be, yes.
Yeah, and on how to join, how to become a member,
Mhm.
because we need to increase the membership. So no matter what age, well, how old do you have to become a member? 18?
Yes. Mhm.
18.
Yeah.
And also, remind me again, it's November 9th that the
November 9th for the soldier's letter,
soldier's letter, and it
Right.
should be, it starts at what time?
7.
7 o'clock. Now, tickets are available at the door.
They are going to be available at the door. And I think you also want pre-sold, like, and you can get them at the branch.
At the branch.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a really, it'll be informative about PTSD, but it sounds like it'd be an emotional sort of trip down what a soldier and his or her family goes through, you know, not only during times of conflict, but when they return. And it'll be an education for us all.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it will be too. And
Yeah.
it sounds like that you've done a lot of work preparing for this. So it's at the Legion. So
Mhm.
I think people should take advantage and get a ticket. So thank you very much, Patty, for joining us here on Community Close-Up. Always pleasant time when you visit. And join the Legion. They need the members, and they're always here for us whenever we need them. And join us here again on Community Close-Up. Remember, it's your community, so take part. And COVID isn't over yet. So wash your hands, wear a mask, get a vaccination, and don't go out if you're sick. And so join us again here on Rogers TV. Bye for now. Bye, Patty.
Bye-bye.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
What kind of show do you want to see on Rogers TV? What interests you? Log on to rogerstv.com, fill out a show proposal, and tell us about your segment idea. We want to know what you want to see. Rogers TV, only on Rogers.
Watching hockey just got a power play with NHL Center Ice and Super Sports Pack. With up to 37 out-of-market NHL games a week.